We'll take a quick round of questions. We always like to try and have a dialogue. If you could keep your question brief, please, and say who you are. We've got on the left here, then at the back. So just left here, and then our female colleague. Yeah.
Hi, Catherine Johnson, Vice Chair, Labour Party Northern Ireland, and I'm very proud to be here in Liverpool and to return the compliment paid by Andy Burnham in Dublin, speaking to the Irish Congress of Trade Unions last year, when he said how proud he was to come from the city that had given Ireland Jim Larkin. And I heard Len McCluskey at the 1916-2016 commemoration in Belfast earlier this year, and he expressed similar sentiments. I'm very proud to be able to say that myself today. I'm proud to be here in Liverpool. I am very, very proud to be a member of the Labour movement. I found it immensely moving so far in conference, but comrades, do not forget about us in Northern Ireland. It's reconnecting Britain. We're Britain and Ireland, the United Kingdom. We're living in the least equal part of the United Kingdom, where women don't have access to the right to choose, where there is no equal marriage, where there is no integrated, comprehensive secular education, and where Labour Party members, despite Ian McNichol's words this morning, do not have the right to stand. Now, Jeremy yesterday at the leadership election said that the Labour Party membership has swollen there's been a threefold increase. Well, I tell you, we've had a tenfold increase in the last year. When you join Dennis Skinner, who has just been photographed on the floor of conference with one of my comrades, Red Mary, from Upper Bann, saying he backs our right to stand, and I'd like the panel to back our right to stand.
Yeah, thanks, Catherine. Red Mary and the Beast of Oldswell, I'd like to see that, yeah.
Thank you. It's Mick Wall from Chesterfield CLP and a very proud Unite member. Betty moved me almost to tears in her oration to us today. My grandmother, born in 1905, lived to 105 years old, saw this country grow into a community, having lived on parish relief for many years. What I don't want to see is this country go back to those times. We need to regrow our communities. We need to combine them back together. We can't be separated, and at the moment, that is what the Tories are very good at doing. Can we please drive that initiative to get the narrative of the nasty narrative of it's all somebody else's fault out of the press, out of the media, and start turning it on to those who are the cause of it, and that's the bloody Tory government.
Okay, thank you.
My name is Dougal McCulloch, and I am also from the Labour Party in Northern Ireland. This wasn't planned, just we went at the same time as me. So, of course, I want to support what my comrade has just said. And I want to say a special thanks to Betty for reminding us of the phrase, peace and socialism. The country I come from is called the United Kingdom. One corner of it has gone through terrible civil war for many years. 3,500 lives were lost. But we have achieved a kind of peace. We have a peace settlement. What it involves is the extremists on one side, sectarian extremists on one side, and on the other side being locked in partnership in government. And in that process, what they're doing is implementing austerity. What we haven't got is socialism. What we haven't got is the Labour Party being allowed to stand candidates at elections. Why? Because of a policy from 1906. The NEC thinks it's an excellently good policy. It's lasted so long, but it's about bloody time it changed.
Okay, thanks for those.
Hello, Ruth Appleton, Holden St Pancras CLP. I work with asylum seekers, and you talk about austerity and poverty well, you've seen it like asylum seekers have seen it. And not only have they come from torture and seeing their villages burnt down, to coming through the Home Office system here and then suffering mental health problems because of what they've endured here, not alone from what they've endured in their own country. So I would like to see not only the Labour Party but the newspapers recognising what a wonderful resource immigrants are, and not to blame them for the ills of the Conservative Party. No, it wasn't immigrants that caused a lack of housing or a failure of the NHS. It wasn't immigrants that caused a lack of jobs or anything else that we're suffering from. Immigrants are bolstering this economy. They put much more in than they take out, and we should be recognising them as a resource.
I think that's one thing you couldn't criticise the Mirror on. We'll go 1-2 here, and then we'll have to get responses. Sorry, yeah, our female. Well, actually, all right. Yeah, you first, and then.
Hi, Steve Battlewich. I'm a Labour councillor in Nottingham, and one of the key things about austerity is also energy prices and the rip-off of the big six private energy companies. And one of the other things we're not very good at in Labour is singing our own successes. And Nottingham Labour Council last year set up a not-for-profit energy company. And what I'd like to see people like the Daily Mirror and the unions do is promote this not-for-profit energy company that's doing lower prices for ordinary people. It's already brought down prices at the issue for pay-as-you-go people, which was the biggest prices on the energy market, and Robin Hood Energy has brought the price down because we make it cheaper for pay-as-you-go. So I'd really like the Daily Mirror and the unions to get behind Robin Hood Energy and support local energy production.
Thank you. My name's Christine Thomas. I'm 58 years of age. And when I was 32, I had to retire from the National Health Service, where I was a modern-day matron, due to a road accident that wasn't my fault. And I basically hadn't worked until May this year. And Len, I love this union. I stand, and I'm going to cry, on the shoulders of giants. Those giants are the Unite branch in Coventry that went out day after day, night after night. They did all the campaigning that I couldn't do, and I've got one of them here, and she's also a councillor. And I say to you that what Liz said and what Betty said is absolutely right. I've now been put in a position where I'm out of poverty. I'm lucky, one of the lucky ones like Liz. And I see people around me that come to me for help because they've had their mobility cars taken away and they can't cope. We've got to go out. We've got to talk to the mothers of the young workers and remind the mothers what a trade union is, and if necessary, get them to bully the young ones and get them to join our union. And I'd just like to say then publicly, thank you, because Unite is a fantastic organisation. It's helped me to get where I am today, and I am determined I am not going to let you down. Thank you.
Dave, Ros, would you like to address any of those points? Final, brief concluding.
Well, one thing I would like to thank Len and the Unite Union is going with Sports Direct, and also, you know, making them pay a decent wage for their workers, because he's also destroyed my football team. A pure selfish reason. I've been going around Europe with this film. After it won the Palme d'Or, we were in Cannes, and then I've gone to Spain, Italy, I've been France, I've been to Slovakia. I also went to Sarajevo with it, and we showed the film in Locarno to 8,000 people in the piazza. And every single person came up to me and spoke to me and said, this is happening in our country as well. This is happening. So we don't think that it's only happening in Britain. It's this austerity thing, you know, which is absolutely bull. You know, as Len said, I feel that if you're an employer and you're making profit, for me it's a no-brainer to be able to pay your workers a decent wage, because if they've got a decent wage, they spend it and it makes the economy grow. And I can't understand why people can't see that. I can't understand this greed thing that's going on all the time, and it's because it's always been pushed down people's throats, trying to split everybody. As I said, they've turned the working class in on themselves, and they've done that so they can go off and do their bit, and we all fight amongst ourselves. And I think, thinking back to my days when I was a kid in Biker and how we had a community together, we've got to give the working class people, and this is all of us, the pride back again. That's what I think anyway.
I was just going to say that Betty just said to me before that she had a whole second section of her speech which was ready for when people attacked her for the things that she said. But instead she's had a standing ovation, so she's feeling a bit confused. So thank you for that.
Thank you. And just one final speech or point from the floor. Thank you.
I'm also a member of Unite. I want to say how proud I am that it's been my union that's been in the forefront of defending our new Prime Minister against the vicious attacks that he's had to stand from friends who should be the people who should be his friends and supporters. And it's been Unite, and it's been my General Secretary that I've seen up on the microphone, making sure that the last legal attempts to deprive Jeremy of the right to stand were defeated. It was Unite. Only one other thing I want to say. I've been a socialist all my life, and for the first time, I feel as though I'm within touching distance of the kind of socialism that I envisage. Not immediately, but on the way. And I'm proud to be associated with all the people here and all the people on the platform who've made that possible. And Jeremy, most of all, is our main hope, and we have to give him every possible support. And I'm quite sure that he'll get it. And he's got the support of thousands and thousands of ordinary people who've not been taken in by all the slanders that have been directed at him.
Lenin, Unite, you breed them long, energetic and fiery.
Yeah, thanks. You'll have me crying in a minute. Look, let me just quickly say to Pat and to Christine. Christine, you won't let me down. You inspire me, as you do, Pat, and as Betty does, and literally all those working people out there fighting for a better life. And I would say to anybody in this room, if you're not already a member of a union, join. And you can join Unite, whether you are in work or whether you're out of work, because we've seen what our community membership can do, bringing people together within our community. So please do that. Let me just say a few words about the contributions, because people have come here to make those points. I first of all just want to say to Dave, because if you haven't seen Daniel, go and see it, and you'll understand why this man deserves the Oscar. It's a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful thing. And although, Dave, we've exposed that Mike Ashley, remember we've also given you Rafa, and I'm sure he'll bring you up. I'm sure he'll get your promotion next time round. Colleagues, quickly on the question of not-for-profit energy prices, yeah, we will support those type of issues. Of course, Steve, you're right. We're the largest union within the energy sector, and we have policies about balanced energy, and there's lots of sensitivities. But we are constantly challenging what is a conglomerate within our energy sector that, frankly, rips working people off. And so any developments like that are open to our view. The comrades from Northern Ireland, and of course this is both Dougal and Catherine, they'll know the sensitivities that exist. But, you know, I see changes happening. Unite organises in both the north and the south. A couple of years ago, in the Republic of Ireland, Unite disaffiliated from the Irish Labour Party. And we did that because of its collaboration with Fine Gael and their austerity governments that absolutely attacked and destroyed working people. And we took the view that the Irish Labour Party no longer spoke on behalf of trade unions or certainly our members. And currently, and quite excitedly, what is being developed in the Republic is the possible creation of a new political party that doesn't have to move towards either Fine Gael or Fianna Fáil. Now, in the north, of course, there's always the problem. Would the nationalist population, would the Catholic population in the north actually want to vote for a British Labour Party? And those debates take place. And I've seen a sea change. I met last time I was in Northern Ireland, many of the individuals who actually stood in the election. And my own union, which has always taken a position of not wanting the British Labour Party to run candidates in the north of Ireland, actually took a position that we strongly opposed the Labour Party taking any action against people who stood. And now that is a move, it might not sound it, and colleagues, this is sensitive, but I do sense that something is happening in the north as well. The border and the Good Friday Agreement have eliminated the border issue, although Brexit, of course, has kind of slightly put it back on the agenda. But from my union's point of view, we seek to fight to make certain that there is a common voice for working people within the political arena. We've got lots of examples where predominantly Protestant workforce will vote for Catholic shop stewards and vice versa. But when work finishes, they go back into separate communities, and come election time, they're asked to vote for separate political parties. We do have to work together to have a political party that is the voice of all workers, and we'll watch and support that progressive development as best we can. I think that's it, Kev. To finish off, just thank everybody here for coming. Very, very much appreciate it, and I have got tears in my eyes with some of the contributions, but you know what? It is what we stand for. When I listen to Liz and Betty and Dave, it's what we stand for. It's our values that kind of bind us together, and it's those values that are the core values of ordinary people. You know, but Ruth spoke about immigrants and asylum seekers. These are people like us with family seeking a better life, that's all. And that core value of decency, fairness and justice is what binds us together, and that's what makes me believe that justice will prevail if we can be true to our principles and what we believe in.
Thank you, Thank say, can I just do a shout out on your chair? Should be a card for a fringe meeting between Unite and the Robin Hood tax campaign tonight at 5:30 in the Liverpool City Centre, Hilton, with John McDonnell and Gail Cardinal, United Assistant General Secretary, amongst others. But just finally, I find these, you're right, it's kind of, you know, these meetings are inspiring, that's what they are, and it's kind of taking the fight. And we all leave uplifted and ready to fight even harder. So I'd like to thank Dave and Roz and Betty and Len and Andy and Liz up here, and all of you for coming and participating, and have a good conference. Thank you.